For a third point of view, we turn to Republican Senator Mike Lee, conservative Republican, I should add. He's from Utah, but he joins us here in Washington this morning. We're glad to have you. Let me just ask you, Mitch McConnell, the Republican leader in the Senate, said there's no way he's going to let the government shut down again, that he's done with that. But do you support that? Would you see circumstances where, for example, if the president takes unilateral action on immigration, that you all might threaten to shut down this government?
I think Senator McConnell's right. I think we're not heading into a government shutdown, and there are a lot of reasons for that. One of them has to do with the fact that this president has a few options in front of him. Now, he can listen to the American people who have just spoken, just weeks after he said that his policies will be on the ballot. And one of those policies was, in fact, possible executive action on amnesty. He can listen to the American people, which I think would be good, or he can turn away from what the American people have said. Look, ultimately, this Congress is a Congress that's neither Republican nor Democratic. It's the American people's Congress. And Congress is going to stand up to the president, and the American people expect them to do that. 74% of those who voted in last week's election opposed the president taking this kind of unilateral executive action. And I think even if he doesn't respect elections, he at least needs to respect the rule of law. Ours is not a government of one, and he doesn't have the legislative power.
But what if he does? I mean, how far will you be willing to go to stop him?
You know, exactly what we do may depend on what he does and when he does it, how he goes about it, and what his proposed basis for doing that is. It's difficult for us to know how best we should respond when we don't know what he's going to do yet. But we're standing ready, looking at the fact that it's important for us to defend the rule of law and to make sure that the institutional prerogative of Congress, which again belongs to neither party, it just belongs to the American people, that the institutional prerogative of Congress to be the lawmaking body is respected.
A lot of people on your side of the aisle and over on the conservative part of the Republican Party, I should say, conservative part of the Republican Party, say that there will be an effort to repeal Obamacare. Now, you know as well as I do that whatever you do on that, you don't have the votes to override a presidential veto.
That's right.
Will that be a big priority for you, or will you concede that there's no way you can defeat Obamacare?
Look, there are a lot of important policies for us to tackle in the upcoming Congress. We've got a lot of things to go after. I think that's one of them. I do think that a vote on a full repeal measure is likely, possibly on budget reconciliation. And even though we don't have the votes to override the veto, if that's what the president wants to do, the president needs to stand ready to explain to the American people why it is that a health care law that's making health care more expensive and more difficult for many people to get is still a law that he wants to impose on them.
Well, will you try to change it?
Yes, I think there will also be a number of efforts to change it. Among other things, I think very soon we will see a vote to repeal the medical device tax in Obamacare, and I think we may see a number of other votes on other provisions as well, such as the rule moving the work week down to 30 hours, which is hurting poor and middle-class Americans disproportionately, possibly a vote on repealing the individual mandate and some other provisions.
Do you think Your colleague Ted Cruz said that if you nominate for president next time out somebody like Bob Dole or John McCain, that you're going to elect Hillary Clinton. Does it have to be a conservative candidate next time out for you, and who would that be?
Well, look, we're a long ways away from 2016. I don't know who our nominee is going to be. For me, the important thing is the policies that the person stands for. I want somebody who will defend the basic principles that are important to so many Americans. The ability to have more government decisions made closer to the ability to have more decisions affecting patients made by patients themselves in consultation with their doctors and not by government bureaucrats in Washington. Those are the things that I'm worried about. I'm focused on the policies, not the personalities.
Senator, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be right back.